5:30, so we'll call to order this meeting for Monday, May 23rd. Jordan, would you start us off with a roll call, please?
Please respond by stating present. Councilmember Ronayne.
Present.
Remley.
Present.
Lunsman.
Present.
Reif.
Present.
Johnson. Reinbold.
Present.
Langer.
Present.
Rux.
Present.
Mayor Schoeneman.
Present. Please stand with me for the Pledge of Allegiance. First order of business will be to approve this week's agenda. I would take a motion.
Move to approve.
Second.
A motion from Councilman Reinbold and a second from Councilman Rux. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And opposed, nay. Motion does carry. Next item is the approval of last week's minutes, the meeting from May 16th. Can I get a motion to approve those minutes as printed?
Move to approve. Second.
Motion, Councilman Lunsman, second, Councilman Reif. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And opposed, nay. Motion does carry. Move along to our open forum where we do have some speakers here today. I'm going to start off with Corey. Corey, is it Barbato?
Yes, sir.
Corey Barbato. He's here to tell us about Juneteenth event at Central Park. Make sure the little green light is on. Give yourself a couple minutes time and tell us what we should know.
Thank you. I'll try to make this quick for everyone tonight. My name is Corey Barbato. I am a local community member. I work at Pounders. I've grown up here since I was 7, and Aberdeen's home for me. I'm currently organizing a Juneteenth event, and it is called Juneteenth. So far, it's been hit with a little bit of controversy as far as northern states' involvement and on the Aberdeen rants and raves. Is there any way to move this thing up? I feel all right. Okay, well, I'll just stand straight. Northern has publicly decided that they're not going to support this event for whatever reason it is. So if you've seen these posters up around town, just know that they're not officially involved. So it's just local community members of color who are putting this on. Also, I've gotten some flack about the Juneteenth name of it. I feel like it's pretty obvious why I chose that, because it's Aberdeen, and I want us to be able to take ownership of this. For people in the room who may not be familiar with Juneteenth, it is a celebration that originated in Galveston, Texas, that was after the emancipation of slaves in the United States following the Civil War. I thought it would be really good to get this event started because it is officially a federal holiday as of last year. I wanted to get it started in Aberdeen because I feel like it's a great opportunity to bring a lot of community members together to just have fun. We're going to do grilling in the park, also have some yard games and a free yoga session for all ages as well. And we're going to have an open mic, so local community members can show off their musical talents, comedy talents, if they want to do poetry, whatever it is that they would like to do to be supported by the community. We're going to have that going on. And so, yeah, I guess I just wanted to share that with you all.
So, Corey, where and when?
So, yeah, it's going to be at Central Park, just a couple blocks over to the east. And it is on Sunday, the 19th of June, which also happens to be Father's Day. So I understand that may conflict with a lot of people's schedules, but I think you should be able to do both, hopefully. And it'll go from 12 to 8 p.m. Well, 12 p.m., yeah, 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. And it should be a fun afternoon.
Thank you very much. Appreciate you bringing it to our attention. For those of you that were interested, Juneteenth. A little interesting spin on the name at Central Park, Sunday, June 19th from 12 to 8 p.m. Thanks for joining us, Corey. Appreciate you bringing that to our attention. Next, we've got an award to be given. So we've got Ron Krugman here to tell us about that. Ron, why don't you make your way to the platform and tell us what you've got.
Greetings from La Société de Karam Kavichavot. There's probably one or two people in the room that don't know what I said. That's French for the Society of 40 Men or 8 Horses, the name of our organization. I bring tonight a room full of heroes and heroines and a lot of first-time people that were really trained very well. And as a result of that training and their quick action, they were able to save a life. It started out with Katie Grote. She's a teacher at Central High School in the A-Tech. She teaches CPR. First time she's taught CPR. So she's a first timer. Our heroine, who I'll introduce last, called 911 and got a hold of Sarah Kamen. Guess what? This is the first time she's received this kind of a call. Another first timer who did her job perfectly, and just wanted to recognize her for what she did. When an officer finally showed up after our heroine did her thing, it was Officer Traster, and he is here. And guess what? This is the first time that he's had to do CPR. So we had 3 people that did perfectly, including the person that we'll name as our heroine of the year, who stayed calm, called 911, started giving her mother CPR, who had gone down and out. And the medical personnel down the road said that had not all of these people performed their job perfectly, it would have been a different outcome. So they're all heroes in my mind, but we are only able to give one heroine award. So I want to give that one to Katie, come on, Emma Keefe.
Katie has the box.
Before I give this, I'm going to let our teacher teach us a little bit. Come on up, Katie. Just tell them.
I just taught CPR. I wanted my 4-year goal for myself at Central, this being my first year, was to have a graduating class that was fully certified. Every single person that walked across that stage would have been CPR certified. But this is why I do it. This is why I maintain my education and my research and make sure we're up to date, on our school books and what we're learning and what we're teaching, giving you little pearls, trying to teach you things when something like this does happen, when it is your mother, when it is somebody that you know. It is a lot harder. But this is why I do what I do, and I'm just the I'm just the microphone lady attender. I'm just there to teach, and Emma listened, and she put it into action, and here you are.
Thank you, Katie.
You're welcome.
Okay, this is Emma Keefe. She's 15 years old. Saved her mother's life along with all of these other heroes. And as a result of that, we have made this eagle says 2022 Heroine of the Year, Emma Keefe, locale 14648, Aberdeen, South Dakota. So this is yours to keep in remembrance of what you did. Now what will happen now is Emma's name will now be submitted to our grand, that's state. If she wins that, there'll be another award coming. If she wins that, then her name would go on to National, and possibility of winning National. But we got both sets of grandparents here, and why don't you stand? This is Amanda, and this is the person that is here because of all of these heroes. I think we should give all these heroes a big hand. Anybody got any questions or?
No,
Okay.
I think you did a great job
Thank you.
explaining it all.
All right, thanks.
Emma, very, very good work, and congratulations on the award. It's really exciting.
thinking I need to take Katie's class.
That's right.
Well, really, I haven't taken it, but, we all should probably try to find a place where we could take this class because the story I got is they brought a new kitten home that night and they were introducing the kitten to their dog, and suddenly her mother went down and out, and fast action saved her life. So it was just a great story all the way through.
Congratulations again, Emma, and thanks for bringing it to our attention, Ron. That's really exciting.
If anybody wants to see pictures, we can go out here and do that.
Yeah, that'd be good. Maybe Carl, would you go snap a picture and send it to me? So we don't have to disrupt the meeting over this. He's a representative, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's representing me here. It seems like. Hey.
Wow.
That concludes our open forum. We've got a consent calendar next. We've got 7 items of routine city business as well as a proclamation for one fine day. I'm not going to read the entire thing, but we've got, I would like to remind everyone that's interested that on June 5th, all of the Catholic institutions in Aberdeen are going to join together for a single mass at the Barnett Center at 8:30 a.m. Again, that's June 5th, and so that proclamation will be presented at that event. Can I get a motion to approve our consent calendar?
So moved.
Second.
A motion from Councilman Rux and a second from Councilman Reinbold. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And opposed, nay. Motion does carry. Move along to our new business where we've got a public hearing and possible first reading, ordinance 220501, which rezones property described as Lot 1, Briscoe, 2nd Edition, at 224 First Avenue Southeast from Industrial 2, I-2 District, and C3R4 districts to C3R4 throughout. Brett, what can you tell us about that rezoning?
This property is located directly west of Central Park. The petitioner is requesting the rezoning in order to eliminate split zoning on the property. They want to have some residential use as well as commercial. Staff and Planning Commission recommend approval of this petition to rezone.
Move to approve.
Second.
Got a motion from Councilman Rife and a second from Councilman Remley. Any questions? All right, Jordan, would you give us a roll call vote, please?
Councilmember Ronayne,
Aye.
Remley,
Aye.
Lunsman,
Aye.
Rife,
Aye.
Reinbold,
Aye.
Langer,
Aye.
Rux,
Aye.
Mayor Shoneman.
Aye, motion does carry. Who is the villain on Inspector Gadget? You guys remember that? Can't remember that guy's name.
Looks like Ron Ronayne.
Is that an awkward segue?
Yeah. Well, that's how we get from point A to point B. Point B
looking it
being the
up.
possible first reading at ordinance 220502.
Dr. Claw.
The Claw, that's right. Mr. Claw? I can't remember. Claw. 220502, repealing sections of city code duplicate of existing statutes or which duplicate another section. Ron, what can you tell us about that?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is a joint effort with our police department and with our fire marshal. But after reviewing the Aberdeen City Code, we were able to identify 23 total sections that can be repealed. 22 of those sections are substantively similar to South Dakota statutes, and the other to be repealed is a duplicate of another section. So what we did, and we've provided the council a text comparison at the back of the ordinance, and if you review that closely, you would see that in substance, many of these sections that are being repealed are either identical to or very close to the statute, to a corresponding statute in the South Dakota Codified Law. And so the goal here is two things, is to reduce, of course, the number of unnecessary sections in our code, but also to make it clear to our police department, primarily our police officers, to not have to dance between an ordinance violation and a potential statutory violation. So this is much clearer and much cleaner. The table identifies all of the statutes that would be repealed. Those sections would then be reserved, and The city attorney recommends adoption of the ordinance.
Move to approve. Second.
Got a motion from Councilman Remley and a second from Councilman Reinbold. Got any questions for city attorney on this? All right, then Jordan, would you give us a roll call vote, please?
Councilmember Rux,
Aye.
Langer,
Aye.
Reinbold,
Aye.
Reif,
Aye.
Lunsman,
Aye.
Remley,
Aye.
Ronayne,
Aye.
Mayor Shonneman.
Aye, motion does carry. Next, we've got the request to purchase fuels, off-state contracts for the Public Works Department, and here to tell us about that is City Engineer Robin Bobzien.
This is a process that we've used for probably close to a decade. It takes some of the risk away from, we used to ask the folks that would supply us with fuel to give us a price for the year. And we all know how volatile the prices have been over the last decade or more. So this process protects everybody, gives us the best price, and also allows the vendors to give us the best price possible. So what they're doing is they are paying a certain amount at the distribution point, the tank farm north of town typically, and there's a delivery charge that they tack on to that. So we've got two known amounts. The known amount for what's at the tank farm is the price that's published that day that they pick it up. So we recommend approval of the state process, and both the vendors, Harms Oil and Vollen Oil, have agreed to do it at the state process price.
Move to approve.
Second.
Got a motion from Councilman Reinbold and a second from Councilman Rux. Any questions about this contract? Jordan, give me a roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Ronayne,
Aye.
Remley,
Aye.
Lunsman,
Aye.
Reif,
Aye.
Reinbold,
Aye.
Langer,
Aye.
Rux,
Aye.
Mayor Shonneman.
Aye. While you're here, we've got the request to purchase 2 new Toro Groundsmaster mowers from MTI Distributing in the total amount of $62,517 through the Minnesota state contract bid process. Robin?
We use these mowers a great deal. You can see that we've had the particular mowers that we are looking to replace, we've had for 9 years. By the time we get this process done, it'll be 10 seasons that they've been used. They're expensive, but they're a very heavily used piece of equipment. We utilized our Parks and Rec folks. They probably use their mowers heavier than we do, and this is what they recommend is the best unit for our usage. We did look at the source well process that you're familiar with. The source well process would not give us a guaranteed price. It was open-ended. I said we can't come before the council and say we want to buy mowers. We just don't know how much it's going to cost. Through the Minnesota state bid process, it is a guaranteed price, and it is actually less than, almost $4,000 less than what the Sourcewell price would have been. So we're recommending approval of this price of the purchase of these 2 mowers, one for street, one for utility storm.
Move approval.
Second.
A motion from Councilman Rux and a second from Councilman Lunsman. What is what's a beacon kit for something like this? Looks like there's a surcharge for that, and I don't know what that means.
Well, that's for the flashing light, the strobe light that goes on the rollover protection device.
All right, Jordan, would you give us a roll call vote, please?
Councilmember Rux,
Aye.
Langer,
Aye.
Reinbold,
Aye.
Reif,
Aye.
Lunsman,
Aye.
Remley,
Aye.
Ronayne,
Aye.
Mayor Shonneman.
Aye, motion does carry. Next, we've got the request approval of payment number 1 in the amount of $65,196.55 to CWF Masonry for the work on our Accessible Quadrant Improvements Project. Robin?
This is the first payment of a few that we will have for this project. Mr. Foley has been very timely in getting his work done, and we will be moving him into a different area right now, and they're in the southwest part of town. We're trying to pick off some areas that they can work on a number of them in one spot rather than jumping them from one to another part of town, that type of thing. They're trying to work a particular area. We're getting down to the point where we don't have a lot of the non-compliance. So we, on this particular project, will be moving in to areas that are partially compliant, which means that they've got the ramps without the truncated domes on them. So we're making progress. This particular budget is for $200,000, and this is one where we want to maximize the amount of work that we do. We will try to utilize the entire budget as part of this, and we recommend approval to CWF.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion from Councilman Rife and a second from Councilman Lensman. Any questions on the quadrant project? Jordan, would you give us a roll call, please?
Councilmember Ronayne,
Aye.
Remley,
Aye.
Lensman,
Aye.
Rife,
Aye.
Reinbold,
Aye.
Langer,
Aye.
Rux,
Aye.
Mayor Shonneman.
Aye, motion does carry. Next, we've got the request approval of change order number 2, amount of a negative $55,748, and payment number 3 for $4408.17 to Ringenberg Electric for the work on the Melgard Road, Lawson Street traffic signal project. Robin, that's a big negative.
Big negative. We did have to plan in for temporary traffic signals for that project, and we were lucky enough that the state had purchased some that we were able to utilize throughout the life of that project, or the majority of it. When the signals at Dakota Street and 6th Avenue went down, they took them away from us for the last week of that project, but they were able to bring in another set. So we didn't have to spend a lot of money on rentals. I think we may have rented that system from Sturgis for the first week before the state was able to set this system up. But it's a significant savings that we were able to have. There were a few other odds and ends that they took off, like there was a little less wire that they used, things like that. But the majority of it was the temporary signals. Ringenberg did an awesome job, and we recommend approval of the payment and of the change order.
Move approval.
Second.
Motion from Councilman Rux and a second from Councilman Remley. Anybody have any questions, comments? All right, Jordan, go ahead.
Councilmember Rux,
Aye.
Langer,
Aye.
Reinbold,
Aye.
Rife,
Aye.
Lensman,
Aye.
Remley,
Aye.
Ronayne.
Aye.
Mayor Shonneman.
Aye, motion does carry. Next, we've got our thank you, Robin, appreciate you joining us as always. Next, we've got our presentation from the Chamber of Commerce. Marketing update. Here with us is Lisa Anderson, who is their marketing director, of course. Lisa, welcome to the
Hey, thanks. Good
meeting.
to see everybody again. Happy Monday. And I think maybe it's summer. Cross fingers.
Don't jinx it.
Gail's helping, yeah, right. Gail's helping me by passing out some kind of just a recap, I guess you would call it, for year to date for what we've been doing with city marketing promotion fund money. So I'll just kind of apologize to Rob, who's online, and I didn't get anything over to him, so I apologize to that. So hopefully he can follow along, and just as we speak about it here. But just kind of broke this down into chunks and kind of some areas that we work with on this, because it's not, when we do our work with our city marketing promotion fund money, it's not just for one thing, it's for many things. So kind of broke it down into different categories. So the first category is the hometown support, which is kind of some of those smaller things that we are asked to do. We evaluate each one of those as they come in and just decide if it's something that's good for the community. So we help sponsor the Snow Queen Festival. Miss Rodeo South Dakota is actually from Aberdeen, Adrienne Shonneman. Part of what she does is travel all over the state. And so part of sponsoring her was having our logo on her car. So we thought that was a great opportunity to drive it all over the state. We, as we usually do, helped sponsor the Aberdeen Wings and put that advertising on ice in there. We split this with the Convention and Visitors Bureau. Just kind of going back again real quickly. We do our best to not overlap spending funds with the other organizations. We do our best to communicate so that we're either working with them or stepping aside and letting them do something that maybe is more suited to them. So we do have lots of conversations with them throughout the year. The state hockey tournament was in Aberdeen, so we help sponsor that. And then this next bullet point is actually something that we just started working on, but it was something we'll be doing through the rest of this year, which is a kind of a positive community message campaign, just kind of showcasing our industries here, healthcare, manufacturing, education, all the sorts of things that we really like to showcase. So we've started on that campaign, and just kind of some feel-good stuff that we want to get out there, which we'll be doing with social media, radio, and TV. The next kind of category that we work with is relocation, and been a little bit slow on the packet distribution this year. And those are what we call relocation packets. They're not always necessarily strictly for relocation, but we have had some interest from those 5 states you see on there: Illinois, Michigan, Nevada, Washington, and South Dakota. We started our digital campaign again in April. I should probably preface this by saying we kind of lay low in January, February, and March, just so that we can utilize the funds the best we can through the months that we feel like we're probably going to get the most, I don't know, not the winter months, I guess I'll put it that way, outside of the holiday season. So just kind of saving up our money so that we can do a bigger push in the warmer months of the year. So we'll be doing 6 months, April through August, and then picking up again November, December for the holiday months. In April, which was the only month we've done this so far, we had 170,521 display impressions and 38,311 social media impressions. The clicks were 727 on the display and 315 on the social media. We are running this in the Chicago area, the Indianapolis area, the Minneapolis area, and we shifted from Denver to Portland this year to take a look to see if that is going to be a little bit more interesting for just finding out on where the traffic is coming from. So, and just kind of knowing things that were happening in the Pacific Northwest, and also just some things I've noticed on social media about people who have moved to South Dakota from the Pacific Northwest, and all the people who comment that say, hey, I've moved to South Dakota from there too. So I thought it might be a good opportunity to just kind of take that different route and see what's going to happen with it. So the top 5 states, you can see on there where we received the most traffic through that campaign. And most notably, I guess, that Oregon is number 5 now. And before, they were quite a ways down on the list. I want to say like maybe 16 or something. So the click-through rate was 0.35% on the display and 0.82% on social media, which those numbers may not mean anything just in and of themselves, but industry average for a display click-through rate is 1.1 to 0.2%. And on a social media, which is where we're using the 15-second video, that normally, the industry average for that is 0.35. So you can see with those numbers that they're doing quite well compared to an industry average. The new video we have, I'm not sure who's running it, but it should be, yep, there we go. So this is the new video that's inviting people to live in Aberdeen.
Critics agree. The Aberdeen area offers something for all ages to enjoy. There are tons of things to get out and do. Plenty of opportunities. It's a healthy hometown. You're quick to fall in love with it. Everything is here. This one-of-a-kind gem is not to be missed. Check out the award-winning Aberdeen, South Dakota area today.
So in addition to that's the 30-second, we also have the 15-second version that's running on social media. And then as you'll see on this sheet, there's the display ads are what we are touting as the great jobs and great quality of life issues that we're inviting people here for. New resident gift card certificates, 107 have been given out total since we started this last year. This year we've given out 13. 2 were redeemed this year and 5 total. So of the 107, we've had 5 people come in and ask for their $25 gift card. So, and The website or the landing page, the Right Move, which is what we use when we're inviting people to move here, that page has 1,582 users this year, and the top 5 states were Illinois, Minnesota, Michigan, Indiana, and Oregon, which coincidentally are the 5 places where we're running the campaign. So if you'll flip over to the back page, you'll see, this is super interesting, but this is the graph that shows, this is the analytics, the Google Analytics from the landing page, the Right Move, and you'll see there was really not much activity at all for the first 3 months of the year. And once we started that campaign in April, it just kind of went crazy. I mean, the numbers are all over, or went way up. So I think that's a pretty good indication that what we've been doing is having a little bit of impact at least. So we're also still consistently reaching out to day visitors, doing radio all over the area, and doing some TV ads locally in live sports specifically. And then we began a digital campaign with Dakota News Now on May 1st, and we'll be doing that through some of the months of this year, taking a break again and then going back on around the holidays. Support local. We're continuing to do our consistent shop local messages on Kello. Aberdeen gift cards so far this year. We have sold 1,031 cards for a total of almost $60,000. And if you'll see the comparison to 2021, it's up quite a bit, almost $13,000 in the same time frame from last year. I do have to give a shout out to our local businesses. Sometimes they'll buy them 50 at a time, 60 at a time, thousands of dollars. Give them as incentives and bonuses and rewards for their employees. So thank you to the businesses who support this program. Some new banners will be going up in the airport soon in the terminal. As you can see, maybe, they're pretty small, but this is the look of them. Every banner that we're having has the same what we call frame around it. So they got their choice of the color of swoop, whether it's going to be yellow, orange, or green. The 3 that you see here are inviting people to dine, shop, and stay. And so those 3 were paid for out of the promotion fund money. The rest of them that are going to be going up will be paid for by each business or organization that will be sponsoring them. And then we continue to use local radio, Aberdeen Magazine, and sometimes the American News for, just catching the local people. The ad that you see there is the one that's in the Aberdeen Magazine, this edition, just inviting them to take a look at the new website. And we're still working on the Kello Live Cam. We're getting a little bit closer. That's still planning. We're still planning to put it as high up as we can on campus at Northern, at Dakota Bank Stadium. That's why we've had a delay, just because of the weather. Obviously, nobody wants to go up there when it's 10 degrees or when the wind's blowing 30 miles an hour. So since we battled both of those things for the last 4 months, it's just not been feasible for them to complete the project. But I keep consistent contact with Justin Frazee at Northern, and I'm sure it will be done very soon. And then we also continue to work on the AberdeenSD.com website, which is the community site. That should be YTD, year to date, not UTD. So we've had 7,000 users this year from the top 5 states are listed there for that website as well. So I just kind of threw in that stat about the U.S. because the other 12+% are from all over the world, which I don't know how and why, but we'll take it. So that's what's going on. Any questions? All right. Well, if anybody has any specific stats they want to see, especially from the analytics from the websites, either the landing page for the relocation or just the Aberdeen community webpage, just let me know. There's a lot of info out there. I just kind of brought some real basic stuff. So if there's any other more detailed things you want, just let me know.
And I think the one thing that I'd be kind of curious about is, you've got 170,000 display impressions, 38,000 social media. How does that compare with previous efforts? Is that a number that's moving up? Is it a number that's moving down? Those type of things. I don't expect you've probably got that handy, but maybe for the next presentation, or maybe if you wanted to fill us in on that, I'd be kind of curious.
We just started this last year, so since we haven't gone through a whole
Oh,
year,
sure.
either calendar or, 12 months worth. I will definitely make sure I have some comparisons next time because we'll have gone
There.
through some more of the cycle.
Good
from
year to year
comparison. Yep.
numbers to
Yep.
compare. Well, thank you
Yep.
very much.
All right. Thank you.
Good to see you as always, Lisa. We'll move
You as
along
well,
to
thanks.
our review and approval of our bills and payroll. We've got the bills for this week, May 23rd. We've got our payroll for the pay period of May 8th through the 21st, as well as the associated taxes that come along with paying individuals. Jordan, can you give me actually, I'd take a motion.
Move to approve. Second.
A motion from Councilman Lunsman and a second from Councilman Romley. Jordan, would you give us a roll call now?
Councilmember Ronayne,
Aye.
Remley,
Aye.
Lunsman,
Aye.
Reif,
Aye.
Reinbold,
Aye.
Langer,
Aye.
Rux,
Aye, but abstain on a payroll item for Mitchell Rux.
Mayor Shonneman.
Aye, motion does carry. Back at it this summer again.
Yep, have water safety instructor training on this
Oh, boy.
payroll, so.
We'll move along to our city manager's report. Joe, happy birthday.
Oh, yeah, that was last week. I think.
Well, we didn't have a meeting last week on Friday.
Tried to get out of that. I usually try and give you all sorts of good news in this, and kudos to staff, and ultimately this is a sad story, but there are some kudos to staff in it. Here, it's been about a month ago. I was in a meeting with the city engineer and several of his staff, and all of a sudden they started getting excited. We were listening to a PowerPoint presentation, and that's not what they were excited about. They had a picture, and the picture was a short light pole. The problem was it wasn't supposed to be short, and it hadn't been short, but not too long before that. It was regular height. It had fallen and caved into a storm sewer that gave way, a sanitary storm, and had sunk down. The storm sewer, the sanitary sewer, is about 18 feet deep, and there's only about 6 foot of the pole still above the ground. So that was what got everybody excited, and that actually led to an all-day. That was about 10 o'clock in the morning, all day to dig it out, determine the scope of work, and get it all fixed. Brought in a contractor, and I think they were all done about 3 o'clock the next morning. So almost a 24-hour operation. Involved pretty much everybody in every division of public works and some contractors. So it was a big deal. We were proud of them. They did a great job, took care of it. And now here last week, the same thing happened, but it wasn't quite as bad because it didn't happen right under a light pole. But it did happen right next to another spot on the line that had been fixed about 2 years ago. And so it's come to our attention that line is no longer reliable. It's a pretty heavy line as far as the drainage and flow of the sanitary sewer in that part of the city. So you'll see on your agenda tonight that there in the consent agenda was a project. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is the really bad news to this is not something we were planning on. This was a surprise. We're now calling it an emergency. Robin was going to try and relocate his lining project to this year. It's too far gone for that, so we will be bringing you here in a few weeks when we get everything put together, a project proposal on this, and we'll also be telling you how we're going to plan on paying for it. But this is something it's gotten a lot of attention. People have noticed it. We just wanted to share that with you, that's something we'll be bringing up, and that's all I have.
Thank you, Joe. Clint, what have you got?
So we lined the part of that going down 10th Avenue, correct?
The west portion, west of the lift station, there was 600 feet that we replaced.
Yep.
That would have been like in 1998. And then 7, 8, 9 years ago, we lined the rest of it going west to Lawson Street and did some of the stuff in that Riverside area. But yes, we did a lot of this area. Our books show that was a different type of pipe.
Concrete asbestos, I'm guessing.
The asbestos cement is something that has historically shown problems with, so we are feverishly trying to line everything that is asbestos cement just in case. There's no return on investment when you're going through these emergency repairs, so we want to get them all done. This one will, without exception, is going to be costly.
And the lift station, I'm guessing, there is newer also, correct?
Parts of it. We've replaced parts of it, the concrete has seen some degradation, and we've repaired parts of that.
Okay, and then the stuff going north on road, or this actually goes out to the air toward the airport.
Yes, and that's clay pipe that's along Highway 12.
Yeah. Okay. So.
But there again, as age catches up with us, we're probably going to have to do some lining on the clay pipe as well.
Okay.
Thank you, Robin. With that, I would take a motion to adjourn this meeting.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Motion from Councilman Rux and a second from Councilman Remley. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And opposed, nay. Motion does carry. We are adjourned. Thank